Hey, how's it going, guys? This is Trey's Raw here, back with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be explaining to you guys the different types of zones in Madden 21, how they work, and how the zone drops work. Now, I see a lot of people, because EA this year added the zone drop feature. And you know, some of you guys that are listening to it, maybe you know how certain defenses work, or maybe you know certain blitzes that you see in ebooks and stuff of that nature. But I feel like if you have an understanding of how each zone works, you know, on the field and what they're responsible for, I think that will, you know, carry a huge benefit for when you're online competing against your opponent, and being able to customize your defense rather than, you know, running like a stock play and just setting it up like everyone else. It adds that layer of customization that I think is going to be very beneficial. So basically, there's three categories of zones that we're going to be going over today. Number one is your deep zones. The deep zones are deep half, middle third, inside quarter, or outside quarter. And your yellow zones. Your yellow zones are going to be your vert hooks, your mid reads, and your 3-rec hooks. And then flat zones. Your flat zones are going to be your curl flat, seam flat, hard flat, and cloud flat. And then we're going to be also going over QB spies as well. Going over that too. So let's get started talking about the deep zones. So let's first talk about the deep half. So as you can see, I'm in the play. I'm scrolling through the defensive plays right now. And so the deep halves are found in cover 2 stock. If you notice the two deep blues on the field, those are deep half zones. So let's come out into cover 2 on defense first. So if you can see in a cover 2, these two guys, the two safeties, have a deep half responsibility. So this guy has this deep half of the field responsibility. This guy has his deep half responsibility. Now, they snap the ball. But also what I'm going to be showing you guys is what defenders, like on offense, you know how you can hot route your receivers, you can put them on a streak pattern, a slant. Well, you can also do that with your defenders. You can hot route your defenders to play a deep half as well. So if we look at this formation, if we came out in, let's say, a cover 3, you see these are no longer deep halves. This is a cover 3, so what that means is that these guys are in outside third. So the 3 deep guys here have their outside third responsibility. This guy has a deep third, this guy has a middle third, and this guy has his deep third responsibility. As they snapped it. But what we can do, I'm gonna go back to the cover 3. What we can do to baseline this real quick, okay? He's not moving out there. But what we can do, so this is an outside third. What we can do is we can click onto him like you do with your other spy, and then see he's on a deep half, like in a cover 2, except he is a corner, so he's going to be playing a little bit more inverted in a cover 3. And this is also, by the way, if you guys have noticed, like maybe online, if you run a cover 3 and you know your opponent throws like a one-play touchdown, if you put a deep half in a cover 3, so like this guy right here, if they try to run a cover 3 beater to this side, he's going to bail out. He's going to basically go running back, except he's not going to be backpedaling. He's going to turn his hips and run back, and that'll stop all cover 3 beaters. So just a tidbit. So the deep halves, you can only hot route your. So we're in a cover 3. So maybe let's say, okay, we're in a cover 3, but we're gonna trick our opponent. We're gonna trick our opponent into thinking it's a cover 3. Well, we can do that. And then he's in a deep half. And then we can put this guy. I don't know what we can do with this guy. We can man him up. So now the play art looks like cover 3, but now it's that's a cover 2 essentially. So that's the deep half. So again, the deep halves are found in cover 2. The responsibility of it is that each defender has their own deep half of the field, and the defenders that can get hot routed to it is your safeties and your corners. So let's take a look at outside thirds. Now, if you remember, an outside third is in cover 3, so I touched on it again. So this guy has his outside third responsibility. This guy has an outside third. Now what we can do is we can hot route our corners to play an outside third if we're in a cover 2. So, okay, so this guy's in a cloud flat. Well, we can hot route him by clicking onto him, and then up puts him on an outside third. Do that to this other corner right here. It's usually X and up. That'll put him on an outside third. So yeah, that's how you do that, and you can hot route your corners to play an outside third. They're the only defenders that are able to get that outside third assignment. And you can be in cover 3, you can be in cover 4. We can be in man right here. You know, you could put him in an outside third instead of man coverage. So just like that. So we went over the deep half, the outside thirds. Now let's look at the quarters. I'm actually gonna choose a new play so I can demonstrate it to you guys better. So if we look at a cover 4 on defense, these 2 outside guys are in what is called quarters coverage. So instead of the cover 3 where the field's divided up into thirds, these guys now have deep quarter responsibility. So this guy has a quarter, this guy has a quarter, this guy has a quarter, this guy has a quarter. So that's what it does. And you know, me personally, I haven't really been talking about how good each zone is. I personally like the quarters, especially pressed. I think that when quarters are pressed, they kind of backpedal, and then it puts them in a position to kind of bite and attack crossing route or an angle. So that's kind of what I use in my personal, you know, scheme. So if we go back to cover 2, we can hot route this guy, and instead this is an outside third, which we're true or dis on, and this is what it looks like when you put him on a quarter. It's a little bit more skinnier there. So we can go to our corner on this side, put him in a quarter, and then with our safeties, we can put him on an inside quarter, and then an inside quarter. So we can do something like that. So our guys are in inside quarters, but we can, you know, for example, put this guy in a soft and a deep half or something like that. And there you go. Just to give you an example of how exotic you can get your defensive play art to look like, and you know, catch your opponent off guard. So one more thing about deep zones, I want to talk about the middle third. Let's go back to cover 2. So a middle third is basically this. So in cover 3, they're going to snap the ball. Apologize for that. Don't have 2 controllers at the moment. So we go to cover 3, this guy is in the middle third right here. If you go to like cover 2 man, for example, this guy is in a deep half like we talked about, but we can audible him to play an inside third, which is a deep third. So now he's playing a deep third of the field instead of playing over here to the deep half. I'm pretty sure you've seen with people run like a cover 2 right here, and then they'll just drop one of their linebackers in the middle third like that. So that's what it is. Basically, it's just a middle third. You can do that. You can do that with your linebackers. So if you're running a cover 2 and you're running like a nickel package, you can have, you know, a safety at linebacker that can get deep third. It doesn't work all the time. So like, see here, I can put this guy in the middle third with this linebacker. If I try to put him, oh, I actually can. Okay. There's some like variables in cover 2 in certain formations where if you try to put him in the middle third, it'll put him in a seam flat like I did with this guy. It's usually on the outside guys, but there's a few times where you'll have like 2 middle linebackers or 2 safeties, whatever the case is, and for whatever reason they don't get the middle third. It'll just go seam flat. So we just covered the first section of the video, which is our deep zone. So now let's talk about our hook zones. So let's go to a cover 2, Tampa 2 to start out. So let's talk about the mid read. Now the mid reads are primarily used in cover 2, and what they do is these 2 guys are in deep halves, but what this guy is main responsible for is that he's going to see the route that's going to go between the safeties, and he's going to try to squeeze him in so that these 2 guys, it's way tighter to throw between these guys. With this guy, when he like, I don't know, he like squeezes him in. If there's a route that goes in, he basically man matches between the safeties there. So then we got our vert hooks. They're basically going to play over the middle. They're not going to go vertical past, you know, like 5 to 10 yards. They're going to probably go like right here and stay. These are pretty good against, like, you know, like how a lot of people do low throws. I found that when you drop like your linebacker in a vert hook, they'll go here, and then it's also good against guarding like comeback routes or like little zig routes. They'll kind of come here and sit on it and just be there. So that's that. So for the mid reads, it's usually the middle linebacker. I've seen some cases where I wonder if any of these safeties can get it. No, they can't. So I've seen in certain formations where they'll have like a safety subbed in a mid read, which is actually kind of glitchy because we talk about the middle third. But the middle third is gonna play more conservative. He's not going to attack on a deep post that much, and believe me, I wish that they did because I use middle thirds quite a bit. But if you have a mid read here, his priority is usually going to be playing a little bit down. So if there's a deep post, he's going to be able to make a play on the ball, and he's going to be able to essentially match it up And man, alright, we're back again. Sorry, my camera cut out. When you're watching this video, I'll probably put it in Share Factory and just combine the two parts together. So I apologize for that, but anyway. So we were talking about mid-reads, vert hooks. I kind of explained what the vert hooks do. So vert hooks, you can essentially put that on anybody. You can hot route your defensive lineman to play in a vert hook. You can get your safety and put, well, that's a hook curl actually. That's something a little bit different than a vert hook. But they're essentially the same thing. So a hook curl is something your safeties can get, and it's going to make him more, like this guy is an outside guy, but you know, if you're running like a nickel 3-3-5 or something, you'll have like your slot corner right here. You can put him in a vert hook. But a hook curl is good. They play really shallow, you know, inside, and then they match with the curl routes and stuff of that nature. So we can do something like this. So I have my two safeties in flats. I can go over here, hot route these guys into outside thirds, and then we have this guy in a middle third. So again, I'm just giving you guys an idea of how much customization you guys can really get with this. So the last yellow zone that I'm going to be showing you guys is the 3-rec hook. So 3-rec hook, you can only get this zone if you have someone blitzing. So see how this guy pre-plays in a blitzing assignment? I can click onto him and then I hit bluff blitz. So now you see he's in a 3-rec hook. But if I bluff blitz him, he's not on a vert hook. Stock, he's on a vert hook. So if I bluff blitz him, it's only going to be a vert hook. It's not going to be a 3-rec. Don't know what that is, but yeah. So 3-recs, a lot of people like 3-recs quite a bit, and that's because they're unpredictable, really. I mean, they can, and I think you can see by like the zone right here, is they have this area right here. So just think about all the short routes that someone can throw in this area right here. You got the street that they can jump curls, they can jump, you know. I mean, I've seen them make a lot of plays. So again, you can only hot route a defender into a 3-rec if they are blitzing pre-play. So in this play, we can hot route him to a 3-rec because he was already blitzing. We can get Calais Campbell and the D lineman in a 3-rec if we want. So that's all your mid zones. So now we covered our deep zones. Now let's go ahead and cover our flat zones and then wrap this video up with talking about the zone drops. Okay, so let's start with the cloud flats. These are more commonly found in Tampa 2. I'm pretty sure every Tampa 2 coverage has the cloud flats. Now the cloud flats are going to play pretty conservative. They're going to play 10 to 15 yards stock. They're going to work, and then they're going to come back down. So they're going to be going here, and if there's a corner coming by, they'll come back there. And if your opponent throws a quick flat route, he's going to come by and he's going to jump down there. So your corners can get the cloud flat and any of your players can get the cloud flat, but it takes a little bit of adjustments, nitticism to do that. So I can hot route this linebacker into a curl flat. Oops. Yeah, curl flat. So if I wanted him to go into a cloud flat, what you have to do is first hot route him to any flat. And you're going to go triangle underneath, triangle down. So you hot route him into a curl flat, triangle down, triangle up. He's in a cloud flat. I can do the same thing with my safety here. I can put him in a curl flat, shade up, triangle down on the right stick, triangle up on the right stick. So that's it. And also, you can do that with any coverage. So for like right here, I'm in a cover 3. And say that I don't want to have the curl flats out here, I can just shade down, shade up. And that works with every play. So now they're in clouds instead of purple zones. So again, you can do that, just not with your, you can do that with your defensive lineman, right? I'm pretty sure, if you wanted to, yeah. So yeah, pretty much everyone you can hot route to a cloud flat, and I guess any flat for that matter. So let's talk about our hard flat. So let's go back into our cover 2. So let's say it's 3rd and short. You notice that your opponent is dipping down to the flat, taking his table routes, and you want to shut that down. What you do is you hit triangle, and then you go underneath. And that'll change your flat zones to hard flats. So they're going to be playing aggressive against any out routes, table routes. One of my biggest complaints against, well, I guess this Madden in general, is that I feel like that these hard flats don't really attack too aggressively drag routes coming into the area. So if a receiver runs a drag route, I feel like this guy should be able to come in and pick it off. Like, that's just a side note, just my little 2 cents. It's not really important, so I'll move on. But yeah, you can do that with any play. So same thing for cover 3. We want to stay in our cover 3 shell, but we want to play underneath, triangle down on the right stick. We'll do that, so your guys will be playing the hard flats. So we can do something like this. Let's go back to our cover 2. I don't know. My play art's all screwed up from just moving guys around. I realize that. So we can do that. Let's say that we want to double flat. So for this example, I dropped this guy. He's going to be playing underneath. But we also have this corner on the outside that's going to be playing a little bit more corner route. So this guy's going to take away the table route, and if there's a cross route, then this guy's going to be in a cloud flat. He's going to be able to work that and take that away. So that's cloud flats and hard flats. So let's talk about our purple zones right quick. Oh yeah, there is one more flat route that I forgot to mention. So you see this not in cover 2, but in pretty much any cover 2 that's not a Tampa 2, and that's a soft squat. So instead of a cover 2 with the cloud flats, they'll be in soft squats like this. And really what soft squats do is that they play the flats, but they also can match in man coverage. So if they see someone going deep, they're going to match them up in man coverage. But if they go in, then they're going to stay in their zone. They're going to play the flats. So that's what a soft squat does. And the corners are the only people that can get that adjustment. Anyway, let's talk about the purples. So over here you got the curl flat. So the curl flat is a flat zone that's found mostly in cover 3 and cover 4. Excuse me, they're the purple routes in cover 3 and cover 4. And basically they're gonna come back and they're gonna play this area. They're gonna look for the curl and they're gonna do a flat. And to be honest, I'm not a big fan of these zones simply because I've seen them. They'll come right here and then for some reason they'll man match and then they'll like match them in man coverage, which leaves this zone wide open. But I mean, they're pretty reliable most of the time. Like in this area, they'll come and they'll match it up. But so that's our curl flat, and then let's try. Does anyone get a seam flat, or do I have to go to? Okay, seam flat. So this is a seam flat. We talked about a curl flat last time, and this is a seam flat, which is pretty much the same thing. These, I think, get even more screwed up because if they see a seam from this guy, they're going to match it in man coverage, and there's no one protecting this area of the field. So seam flats I would not mess with too much, in my opinion. But as far as the people that can get them, it's like linebackers and outside linebackers and all that. So, all right. So the last part before we go into the zone drops is going to be the QB spy, and the QB spy you can put on anybody. You can do that. You can. Well, I guess you can't spy your outside corners. I was actually wondering about that if you could, but you can't. So anyone but your QB, your outside corners can go into a QB spy. You can spy your safeties, your D-line, your linebackers. Let's reset the play here. So let's put him in a QB spy. So what the QB spy does is he's going to mirror the quarterback, which I'll let him snap the ball so you can kind of. I don't think the computer's going to roll out, but you'll see. So what this guy does is that he'll basically stay here, and then he'll just mirror the quarterback. He'll just stay here, and then he'll watch the quarterback mirror him. If he rolls out right, he's going to move out to the right. Now, to send the QB spy, so let's say you're playing, and then he's mirroring him, but you want to send him in to chase the quarterback. What you do is that you hit in on the right stick like a button. So you hit in on the right stick, and your QB spy is going to run and chase the quarterback. And you can do that with any zone. So if your opponent's rolling out, just click hit on the right stick. You don't have to have a QB spy on the field. You just hit in on the right stick, and the nearest defender is going to abandon his assignment, whichever assignment it is, to chase the quarterback. Now for me, I love QB spies. I love QB spies. Even when they don't have a mobile quarterback, I still utilize QB spies quite a bit. Reason being is because they can make plays, especially if you have like a slot corner in a spy. I've seen them get so many interceptions in the middle of the field, just sitting there, and then they'll pick off a slant route or something along those lines. So I really do like QB spies. I feel like in my opinion QB spies does a lot more than just contain the quarterback or contain like Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick. So let's talk about the zone adjustments. So from here we can adjust our flat zones to play 30, 25, 20. Now if you guys remember last year, it was near close flex. Everyone ran it, and it was rollout corner route. So basically last year, if you had like a rollout quarter route, if you could roll out and you ID'd everyone, you got the proper protection, you could roll out the pocket with escape artist, and the defense would basically stop playing defense, and the corner route would be open every single time. So that's why this feature was added to the game. That, and I think it adds a little bit more of a custom ability of, you know, people's defense and things like that. So and also one thing that I wanted to talk about, the flats. So if you notice, your flats include your hard flat, soft squat, cloud flat. Alright, take 3. Second time. This is going to be a long video, and I do apologize. It's over 20 minutes. So if you sat here and you watched all 20 minutes, you know, give yourself a pat on the back, and you know, really, I feel like if you sat through and you wanted to learn about this, and I think that is important because it shows that you want to get better, or you just like my voice, which either case it's good. All right, but let's wrap this up. We only have a few things to go over. So for your flat zones, again, you can adjust it. It goes from 0 to 30, and it goes in increments of 5. So 5, 10, 15, 25, 30. And again, any flat zone, so your hard flat, cloud flat, soft squat, those are all, if those are on the field and you have them set at 20, they're going to play 20. And also, while I'm on the topic of this, EA, can we make it to where the hard flat isn't included in the zone drops? I would appreciate that. Anyway, so your curl flats are going to be your purples. So just think of like your curl flats as like your purples. So these are your blues and these are your purples essentially. So your curl flats, your seam flats, those are purple, and they go in increments of 5. And your hook curls, your mid reads, your 3 rec hooks, your hook curls, and your vert hooks. So you can adjust these to play. So if you have like a safety and you have him in a yellow, if you have him set at 25, he's going to kind of stay in that 25-yard range and play. If you have like a linebacker in a yellow, he's going to drop back 25 yards. Or if you have a safety and then you have him at 5 yards, then he's going to go and he's going to attack the line of scrimmage basically. And also one more thing before we get out of here is, you know, one thing that I see from a lot of people, and I'm not really sure why they do it, but at the start of the game they come in here and then they have like their own little, they'll have this set at 5, they'll have this set at 10 or 15. Now I'm not saying that you should listen to me or that I'm wrong than those people that do that, but I just don't understand the reasoning, because I mean, how do you know what someone is running that you have to adjust to for you to just adjust to them and then just play on default? Because that's just the way I do it, and I know that was a tongue twister, and I apologize. Hopefully you get where I'm coming from. But for me, at the start of the game, I usually have these on default until my opponent says, you know, for example, if my opponent has like a crossing route that gets over the stock cloud flat, then I'll come in and say, okay, I need to adjust these, put these at 25, these at you know, 10 or 15, and do that. So just something that you would like to consider. But anyways, this was a long video, and I appreciate you guys for watching. If you stuck through to the end, I really do appreciate that. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or comments, and until next time, I'm out. Peace. Thanks for watching.